and welcome back to the Dear Herbalist podcast. My name is Jastaria Curry. Thank you so very much for tuning in this evening. If you are new here, you are most certainly welcome. And if you are a returning listener, as always, thank you so much for your continued support and continued listen. I hope everybody is doing all right out there. It's been a long day, y'all. It's been a long day, but I told myself this year I want to remain consistent with this podcast, so I am going to remain consistent. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, a moment of transparency. I want to hop in my bed and I want to go to sleep because it's just been that kind of a day. So I hope everybody else's night is great. I hope everyone is at home now, relaxing, resting, contemplating, soaking in the tub, whatever you need to do to kind of shake off the energy of the day, and everything that you've kind of had going on today. And you sit down and just take a reflection time and say, hey, what do I need to do differently? What are some things that I don't need to do differently? What are some things I need to do more of? So just get in that reflective space so that you can kind of dump everything out of your mind before you hit that pillow and get some sleep. So you guys bear with me tonight. It has been a long day, but like I said, I don't want days to go by where I don't get to talk to you, but I also don't want days to go by where I don't share some tidbits of information. So tonight we're going to talk about why two people can take the same herb and get opposite results. Now, you may have people that you may recommend herbs to, and some people will come to you and say, man, thank you so much. This really helped me. And then other people will come to you and say, that didn't help me at all. Or, I took it, but it really didn't give me the effects I was looking for. So you may get those things. Don't worry. Don't fret. There is a reason why that happens. And I'm here tonight to answer that question. Why can two people take the same herb and have completely different, maybe even sometimes opposite results? Same herb, same dose, totally different outcome. So what is going on? Tonight, let's walk through it in a way that is practical, grounded, and something you're actually going to be able to use. So the first thing to understand is that herbs don't work the same in every body. Herbs don't just have one fixed effect. And this is something that is very important to understand. Herbs are not like flipping a light switch, whether it's either on or off. They're more like having a conversation with your body, and your body is responding based on what's really going on. An example of this, think about coffee, right? Because a lot of people drink coffee. One person drinks coffee and they say, you know what? I feel focused. I have energy. And then you have another person that could drink coffee, and it could be the exact same coffee, but when they drink it, they feel anxious, they feel shaky, or later on they may feel exhausted. So what happened here? The coffee didn't change, but the body receiving the coffee changed. And so herbs work the same way, but often more subtly and more complex. And we as herbalists, it's important that we understand those subtle complexities because they really impact our herbal formulations. The bottom line is that your body's wiring is different. Inside your body, everything runs on signals like messages being passed between your cells. And herbs, they interact with these signals, but not everybody's wiring is exactly the same. So for example, let's say you have two people taking lavender, right? If person A has a tense, overactive nervous system to begin with, when they take lavender, they may feel more relaxed. But person B, if person B is already depleted in their body, they don't have really a whole lot of energy anyway, when they take lavender, they may feel more tired or they may feel foggy. In this instance, they took the exact same herb, but one body needed to be calm. They needed that calming effect, and the other body needed more support and rebuilding. So it wasn't the herb that didn't fail. It just wasn't matched to the right situation. Another key thing to understand that most people forget about when they think about taking herbal medicine is that your body actually has to process the herb. So once you take the herb, your body goes through a series of things to actually process it. It breaks it down, it converts it, it moves it, and then eventually eliminates it from your body. Not everyone does that at the exact same speed or even efficiency. One of the most common ways, or examples, I should say, when you think about alcohol, right? Let's focus on what happens after you drink it. You can have one person that can have a drink and barely feel it. Then you can have another person that takes that exact same drink and they feel it quickly. It's strong, it's fast, and sometimes, for them, maybe it's even overwhelming. When you look at that situation, you have to ask yourself, what is the difference? So it's not the alcohol, right? It's how their body handles the alcohol once it's on the inside. So a simple way to kind of break this down is that your body has a built-in system, and this is mainly through the liver, that will break things down, it will convert them, it will clear them out, and this is called metabolism. So what's actually happening is that person A, who may feel fine, right? Their body breaks down the alcohol quickly and smoothly. It doesn't build up much. Effects may even feel mild. Person B, the ones that feel it strongly, their body breaks it down slower. It builds up faster than they can actually clear it, and the effects feel stronger and they hit the person quicker. So let's now apply this same concept to herbal medicine and to plants. The same exact thing happens when you take herbs. One person's body may process the herb more efficiently, leaving that person feeling balanced and have a lot of helpful effects. But another person's body may process the herb slowly. Then the residue of those herbs build up. And then, of course, the herb in their system, because it's built up, may feel too strong or may feel uncomfortable for that person. Right? And then you could have, let's just say, throw a third person in there. You could throw another person in there that may take the exact same herb and their body doesn't process it well. It processes it actually poorly. And this person may be that person that comes to you and say, I really don't feel anything at all. So the easy way to think about it is that it's not just about what you take. It's how your body handles what you take. That's why the same herb can feel different and, perfect for one person and be way too much for another, or somebody else could come in and does absolutely nothing. It's the same input, same herb, but different internal processing. So sometimes when you have someone that says that herb didn't work for me, it may be that their body didn't process it the same way. And this is the reason why I don't subscribe to the one size fits all herbal formulations for everyone, because of this fact right here. Everybody processes things differently. Some may have a strong effect, some may have no effect, and some may have a weak effect. So this is the reason why you can't say, take this one thing for one person for everybody. It doesn't work like that, right? Another thing to focus on, or even to note, is what happens when it hits your gut, because your gut changes everything as well. And this is something that most people don't think about because they're not focused on that, right? They're only focused on, this is the herb, this is the way you process it, and this is how much you need, and take it from there. But your gut plays a huge role in how herbs affect you. The bacteria that lies in our gut helps to transform the herbs that we actually take in. So for example, you could have two people drink the same herbal tea. Person A's gut could convert that same tea into something soothing. And as a result, the person actually may feel better. But then you have person B, and their gut doesn't process the herb very well. And as a result of that, they may feel more bloated or irritated. So when you think of your gut, you want to think of it like a processing center for everything that you take in. When you drink an herbal tea, it doesn't just go straight to work. It goes through your gut, and your gut has to break it down, interact with it, and sometimes even change it before your body can even use it. So when you look at those two people, we talked about what's going on with them. Person A, sure, they feel better. And in this instant, their gut is balanced, it's working well. And as a result, it's able to process the tea smoothly. It turns it into something their body can use. And as a result of that, they feel calm, they feel soothed and relieved. Now let's look at person B. Person B, the person that felt worse, their gut already might be irritated, imbalanced, or sluggish. And as a result, the body is not able to process the tea properly. It actually may ferment or sit too long in the stomach or cause irritation. And this will lead the person to feel bloated, uncomfortable, or they'll feel like something is off. So even though both people drank the same tea, their guts handled it differently. So as a result of that, they ended up with very different results. So let me give you a real life comparison, right? I'm trying to give as many examples to drive my point home. It's kind of like food. Okay. One person could eat beans and they just feel fine. They feel full. They feel great. They love it. Another person could eat those same beans and they get bloated. They feel gassy and they're like, I can't do it. My side's cramping. No. Now, in this scenario, the food didn't change, but the gut it went into, right, did. So it's really important. I can't drive that home enough. Our bodies are not internally, in terms of how we process food and metabolism and all these things, is different in different people. We have the same systems, but some people's systems are working more efficiently than others. This is the reason why I tell people, especially when you're thinking about herbs, you want to make sure that your gut health is in order. You got to make sure that if you're trying to take supplements and vitamins and all this other kind of stuff, if your gut is not healthy, it's not strong, it's not processing, it's not doing what it needs to do, it's inflamed, it has a lot of tears, these type of things, you drinking, any type of herbal tea or taking a supplement and expecting the body to be able to efficiently absorb the nutrients from it, absorb the medicine from it, and send it off to where it needs to go is not going to happen. It's going to struggle to do that. So the way your gut is lined up, that's important. And that's often a missing piece in a lot of things, especially when it comes to herbal medicine. If your digestion is not in a good place, even the right herb that you take could feel wrong. So when you're looking at how to help someone, sometimes the first step is not changing the herb. It's actually supporting the gut so your body can actually use what you're taking. That should be the first thought. How is this person's gut? Asking those pertinent questions so that you can get an idea of how they're digesting and processing foods. Then from there, you'll be able to better know, okay, these are the plants that you need to use in order to help the body and support your gut, so that once you are ready to start taking those other herbs to address those other issues, now the body can actually use it. The stomach can do what it's designed to do. And another key point is that the root problem matters more than the symptom. I will say that again. The root problem matters more than the symptom. As herbalists, we are designed to look at the root cause of the issue. That's why I talked about the gut. Look at the root cause, because sometimes if your gut is not aligned properly, it has inflammation, it's, not digesting well, all of these things, if that's a root issue. And that's the reason why you may not be getting the herbal medicine through to the system like you need to. That may be why your nutrients aren't being assimilated properly. That may be why those vitamins that you're taking, the body is not absorbing them like it should. So we have to look at the root cause. And this is where most people get tripped up. So you have to look at the root. Most of the times people focus on the symptom. So two people can have the same symptom, but for completely different reasons. So it's important to understand that herbs work best when they match the cause and not just the symptom. A symptom is what you feel or see, and that's like fatigue, headaches, or anxiety. But the cause is why the symptom is happening in the first place. So you can have two people that have the same symptom, like I said before, but for completely different reasons. So if you only treat the symptom, you might miss what's actually driving the issue, or you can push the body into the wrong direction. An example of this is, let's look at headaches. One person's headache could be from tension and stress, while another person's headache could be because of dehydration or poor digestion. Now, if we have these two clients and we give them both the same herb, it might help one person and then for that other person do absolutely nothing, or it can make things worse for them. Another way to think about it is addressing the symptom is like turning down a fire alarm. When you address the cause, it's like putting out the fire. Herbs are more effective when they're aimed at the fire and not just the noise. So the noise would be the symptom. That's another way you can think about it. Another example is person A is exhausted because they're stressed and overstimulated, and person B is exhausted because they're depleted and run down. Now, if they both take a stimulating herb, then person A might feel worse, more anxious, more drained, right? But person B might feel better from that herb. They may have more energy and they may have more function. Same symptoms, but different root cause. And because of that, there's a different result. That's what you need to keep in mind. Same symptom, different root cause, different result. So another reason why, okay, two people can have, could take the same herb, but also have different outcomes, because how they take the herb changes the outcome as well. So even the way you take an herb can shift how it affects you. You can have a small amount that might gently support your system, or a large amount that might push too hard, or you can take a tea that might mostly affect your digestive system, or a tincture that might affect your whole body more quickly. So for example, a digestive herb in tea form might calm your stomach, but that same herb in a strong extract might feel too intense or even irritating. So sometimes also the issue is not the herb, it's the form, it's the dose, meaning how much of it you take, or the timing. So when two people take the same herb and get the opposite results, it's important to understand it's not random. It usually comes down to a very few small key things. What their body actually needs, because when you're taking herbs, it's going to go to where it's needed. Okay? It understands what to do in your body once it hits there. Your body knows what to do with the plants once they get there as well. That's the beauty of the system, and that's the beauty of plants. It also boils down to how that person's system is wired right now and how well they process what they take in. What also matters is what's happening in their stomach to begin with. So is there inflammation there? Are they processing the foods that they eat well? Is there, injuries in the stomach? There's a lot of different things, a lot of different factors. Okay. And then also how the herb is being used. Or is it a tincture? Is it a tea? Is it a poultice? So a simple way to think about it is that herbs don't act the same in every single person, because no two bodies are starting from the same place. So keep that in mind when you are working with clients. Don't feel that pressure to have that one size fits all remedy that will work for everyone. Because if you do that, you won't know how to pivot when you have a client that seemingly, they said they had that same baseline issue, but because you didn't look at the root of it and you're only addressing the top layer of it, you're only addressing the symptoms, then you're going to feel like you're almost like a mouse in a running wheel. Like you're just going to keep spinning and spinning. Why is this not working? I gave this same herb to the other person that had that exact same titled illness. And I said titled for a reason. Dis-ease, right? So this person had diabetes and I gave him this, and that person too had diabetes and I also gave him that. For some reason, this person A is not working and person B it is. Why? It's not the herb. It may not even be the dose. It's what place are they starting from? So that is a key question that you need to ask yourself every single time that you're working with clients, so that you don't get frustrated, because it can be frustrating. And even with clients, they may know that you helped one of their friends or their family members or whoever. And then when they took that same herb, they're like, wait, this didn't do nothing for me. What's going on? Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's not enough. And most people go to the, it's not enough. So they want to chug the whole thing down their throat. And it's like, don't do that. More is not always more. So if you have ever, as an herbalist, felt frustrated because something worked for everyone else, but not for you, this is why. That's the bottom line. It is not that herbs don't work. It's that the match was not right yet. And once you start looking at the person instead of just the herb, everything becomes a lot more clear. So if this has helped you to understand not only your body, but your client's bodies a little bit better, please share this podcast with somebody who's been trying to figure out why nothing seems to work for them. And if you're ready to go deeper to learn exactly how to choose the right herbs for your body, then stay tuned for this podcast. Check out my website. Check out my YouTube channel. Even if you're listening here, I've got plenty of other videos and plenty of other podcasts that you can listen to. Stay informed because that's very important. And most importantly, take care of yourself out there. It's a crazy world we're living in right now. A lot of people are switching their mind over from, traditional methods to, I want to move over into plant medicine. And because of that, we want to make sure that we are answering the call. We want to make sure that we have the information necessary to be able to educate. I had a lady reach out to me and she said, I think I'm ready. I kind of want to step out there. Listen, get a little bit of knowledge and get out there and get going to help people. They need the information. They need the knowledge that you have. So please, 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 please get out there. In all that getting, as they say, get an understanding. And until next time, family, have a great evening. I will see you next week, and I'm out.